Thanks and welcome to join me on the 6:15. I'm Kejang Henry at Timbe. Let's flag off with our top stories. The Yaoundé Central Market has been ravaged by blistering flames with millions blown into oblivion. The inferno is blamed on electrical short circuit, as we are going to get in this newscast. And back to school strike, the National Union of Higher Education Teachers (NES) announces a nationwide strike in all state universities begin October 6. They are reclaiming the non-disbursement of research allowance and academic dues. Top stories. Check us on our respective platforms for consultation on Canal International. We begin from Douala, where security operatives have shut down a clandestine palm wine distillery that produces toxic and damaging alcohol. The raid was carried out by the gendarmerie in Doksimbi in the Douala Free neighborhood, where large quantities of polydistilled alcohol was dismantled.
A surprise operation by the Ndokbong Gendarmerie Brigade has led to the dismantling of an illegal palm wine factory in Douala. The facility, built with makeshift materials in the Doksimbi neighborhood, was producing large volumes of adulterated alcohol.
On regarde de vin blanc, c'est pas qu'on fabrique. Ce sont eux qui tuent les Camerounais à petit feu.
Je suis scandalisé comme vous. Je ne savais pas qu'on pouvait produire le vin de palme au quartier.
Under the command of Chief Warrant Officer Guy Rostam Manga, officers discovered a significant stockpile of toxic beverages along with equipment used in the illicit production process. The suspect is reported to have fled the scene before the raid.
C'est fait suite aux renseignements reçus du fait que
with the collaboration of some of our agents on the field, we managed to locate the exact production site, and with instructions from our hierarchy, we succeeded in our operation, but unfortunately, once on site, they fled away. The operation was supervised by Captain Bello Bobodi, commander of Douala's second company, who said the crackdown reflects the National Gendarmerie's determination to combat counterfeiting and safeguard public health.
Thanks very much, Sherifa Salo. Move over to Yaoundé, where blistering flames have consumed huge consignments or quantities of products in the Yaoundé Central Market, with millions of francs blown into oblivion. The inferno has been attributed to an electrical short circuit, as we are gathering from you, Beatrice Nkamo.
Shattered, broken, lost in emptiness. The other tries to console this lady, whose all in the name of shop is gone. Like her, this other, though on her feet, is completely lost. They are ready to wear goods in total ashes. Shoes, suits, gowns and all gone. Her estimate stands at over 15 million CFA francs. An amount that can run for almost all the business spaces in this area. It was at around 7 a.m. that the alarm smoke oozed out of the Bukaro building situated in the middle of the market. Over 50 shops surrendered to the wild flames. Alerting the firefighter and helping in the most efficient manner those who were not yet engulfed by the flames.
Le feu était déjà flammant. On aidait juste les voisins à lever. Ceux qui étaient à l'extérieur, on les aidait à lever, vivre les choses dans leur boutique.
This Wednesday, September 10 fire incident, many blame on short circuit, but are very angry with the fact that stores have been built on water reserves for such cases, making it impossible for many to help when such an incident arises.
On monte les kiosques partout, sur les endroits où on peut ouvrir l'eau et éteindre le feu. Tout est fermé. C'est pourquoi on est buté à cette situation-ci.
This fire incident is like a phenomenon that has come to stay in this market. This is coming after the not so long ago incident at a section that harbored the Nikki Central.
Unfortunate there. Thanks very much, Beatrice Ngamu. And we talk back to school as universities are poised to welcome freshmen. The National Union of Higher Education Teachers, SINES, has announced a nationwide strike action in all state universities beginning October 6. They are asking for the disbursement of their research allowances and the payment of more academic dues. Maureen T reports.
A complete halt to academic activity. That's a call from the National Executive Bureau of SINES. The union reaffirms the planned strike during a press briefing held this Wednesday, September 10, 2025, warning of serious disruption if their demands are not met.
All lecturers are invited to cease all activities concerning teaching, participate to jury, PhD defense. We will not work on any area concerning the relation between student and a teacher.
The union regrets that its formal request for an audience with the head of state submitted back on January 20, 2025 remains unanswered. SINES says this silence ignores the urgency and gravity of their grievances, which directly affects the future of higher education in the country.
It is almost 25 years that lecturers are waiting for the payment of the academic debt. Until now, we still have, we are waiting the payment of the third quarter allowance.
SINES further states it is not just pointing out problems, but also ready to table concrete solutions to improve the education sector and is open to dialogue with governments and policy actors.
When you supervise a thesis, you need to be paid. When you supervise a master, you need to be paid. We also have complementary hours that are not being paid to some of lecturers. I think it is more than 50 billion for 20 years.
According to the union, the situation has already led to a brain drain, with over 1,200 university lecturers having left the country since early 2024, citing unbearable conditions and poor governance of the education system.
Thanks very much, Maureen. We stay with you as it is nightmare for some students 3 days into the new academic year in Mabanda, where students have to wait across floods to get to their institution. And so they are forced, as this rainy season is not getting it well with the students, especially in those neighborhoods that are swampy neighborhoods. Maureen.
Dipping their feet into the water every morning just to get to school has become the daily reality for hundreds of students in the Bonaberi neighborhoods of Douala. On this path leading to the bilingual high school of Mabanda, every wrong step can be dangerous. Sonia, a young student, is already used to this risky journey.
Rain is falling, too much water, people are falling there.
When I'm coming to school, I walk on my foot.
Because you cannot tell a parent to buy a tennis for a child and come and enter water. First of all, the child falls sick because of water, will damage his legs.
The road remains submerged under stagnant water, and crossing it requires a specific dress code and extra accessories for changing.
Every morning I keep my uniform in my bag too. I'm wearing house dress. When I reach to school, I go and change in the toilet. Up to then, the water that is in school is still wet in my uniform when I'm changing.
Yeah, every rainy season turns into a nightmare.
Okay, regarde. Voici l'autre qui vient de tomber maintenant comme ça là.
16 years that I'm here in this same school. The former years we were managing, but since yesterday, since this year, we don't know if this rain has just decided to scatter the road, but this year. Other years we try to manage, but this year it is so stressful.
Here in this area, it is not only Lycée, which is a government school. We have CETIC, it's a technical school, belong to the government also. And then we have many primary schools this way that children use this same road to go there. But the problem here is that when this thing started some years behind, the negligence of the road, because we don't have a gutter, there's no gutter. So now all the time that the quarter would try to fill it, but when it comes rainy season like this, the gutter, all the water come back to the roads.
The situation has persisted for years. Residents are pleading for help from competent authorities.
A good gutter that will link taking water to the sea, then the work will not also be solved. You still do the same thing that we living here we are doing, putting ground and no gutter, and it goes out.
It should be noted that the bilingual.
Thanks very much, Maureen T. And work, of course, without thought transport, as transport fares have surged in many parts of Cameroon's economic capital as a result of the bad roads. Example is that of the Nyala-Dogbaba and Ndokoti road axis that is practically impossible to navigate, especially in rush hours. Traffic fares have moved up from 350 francs to 500. Sherifa Saleh.
This is Ndokoti Senkantex, a busy junction linking Douala 3 and 5 districts, such as Ndokoti Logbaba and Ndokoti Nyala. Commercial motorbike and taxi fares have jumped sharply in the past 2 weeks.
Aujourd'hui, je me retrouve en train de payer 400 francs, 500 francs, chose qui n'est pas normale.
Trips that once cost 250 CFA francs from Ndokoti tunnel to Logbaba now demand 400 CFA francs. For many commuters, the increase is difficult to absorb, especially when daily travel is unavoidable.
Je me rends compte que je suis obligé de payer un peu plus.
From the look of things, I have to pay double since we have to take the tours. It's really frustrating.
C'est pénible.
Par exemple, 1 kilomètre, on payait même 100 francs.
Before, a distance of 100 meters could cost 100 francs CFA, but now we charge 150 francs.
C'est obligé de payer 150.
Drivers argue the high fares are unavoidable. They cite poor road conditions, traffic diversions, and damage to their vehicles caused by heavy rainfall.
Et avec la pluie aussi.
The rains are not making it easy for us. In such cases, we only have to increase the transport fares so we can cope, because taking the normal tariffs with this rain and less customers, but one is still forced to take the tours and spend a lot. We only have to increase. From Ndokoti to Chateau on a normal cost, 300 CFA francs, but with the state of roads and rain, we are forced to even charge 500 CFA francs at times. The new school term has only added to the pressure. Families already facing back-to-school expenses now have to factor in the rising price of getting their children to class. With the rainy season still on, the transport dilemma of this part of Douala shows little sign of easing, leaving passengers caught between higher fares and their daily need to move around the city.
And we stay within the transport section or sector as work is gradually improving with traffic flow established in the west entrance of Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. The improvement really comes after months of ordeals subjected by commuters. Ambo Gladys Dibang tells us how it is difficult, or it was difficult, to navigate through the famous Carrefour music.
Engines remain active on site as construction work continues at Carrefour Music in Bonaberi, Douala. The road works, which began a few weeks ago, have already transformed the area's notorious traffic conditions. Large potholes that once caused hours of traffic delays from Carrefour Music to nearby roundabouts have now been replaced with solid pavement roadblocks. Drivers and commuters say the improvements has significantly eased congestion and enhanced mobility.
At first, it was not easy here at the Carrefour Music. Getting from right here, it was really a nightmare due to the deplorable state of the road. So I can really appreciate.
It has bits better than what it was maybe 1 week ago. So we parents are satisfied since our children can go to school
reach to school early, even teachers.
January, February or March, water be there plenty for here. Motor self no be the pass, traffic be there over, be the worry. Mom do would they now so they happy small.
Though generally satisfied with the progress, many road users wish the sidewalks on the improved route and other areas along the west entrance to Douala, where traffic remains heavy and frustrating, could be addressed.
There's still much to be done because the pave there, they should take it right to Petrolex. The work is good, but it's done halfway. Is that they should look at the situation at Rai Market at the wrong point, because we really need this kind of work at the Rai.
On this kind of infrastructure, it must at least make maybe 5-10 years. But we are noticed that all the roads that have been maintained the last time are already collapsed.
Meanwhile, construction teams are still working on drainage gutters in the area. Locals are urging the government to extend similar road improvements to other degraded junctions within the Douala 4 subdivision, which continue to hamper transport and economic activities.
And still in the transport sector, the lockdown announced by separatists with back to school has actually grounded not only school resumption, but as economic activities as well. One of the sectors that is seriously affected by the lockdown is the transport sector, where vehicles that are plying the northwest and southwest regions of the country are all grounded, either in Bonaberi, Limbe, Buea, Bamenda, or otherwise. Ambo Gladys.
An unusual calm has settled over the usually busy travel agencies in Sodiko Bonaberi Douala since Monday, September 8. Buses bound for the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon have been grounded due to a lockdown declared by separatist fighters. The agencies, which primarily operate routes to the two English-speaking regions, are now deserted. Not a single vehicle is leaving the park, and staff, including drivers, loaders, and ticket agents, are left idle.
We pay insurance for 1 year. It's about $1 million for a year. So if the bus is not producing money, so you can imagine the losses that it brings to us.
Very, very bad. Yes, very bad. Now, so everything is blocked. Nothing need the worker. Yes, because of this crisis. Through the Shaiman, we try to survive.
Management of the Sodiko Motor Park confirmed that lockdowns have a significant impact on their operations, as the majority of buses serve routes to the conflict-affected areas.
Since Monday, nothing has been working. Everything has come to a standstill. Vehicles are grounded as drivers are complying with the lockdown. Our income has dropped. It feels like no one is traveling. It's difficult.
The effects go beyond the travel agencies. Petty traders and food vendors who rely on the daily flow of passengers have also felt the pinch. Many report a sharp drop in sales, while others have closed completely until the situation improves. With no clear indication of when the lockdown will end, workers at the travel agencies are hoping for a swift resolution.
They talk say today na lockdown, but I don't know me why the lockdown be.
For now, they remain in limbo, waiting for the roads to reopen and for life to return to normal.
And we talk hate speech as an awareness campaign has been launched to raise awareness, that is by 1 million youths in the country. Of course, this equally includes refugees and influencers as well as women. The initiative is patronized by the Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications. Beatrice Ngamo tells us more on that.
With the presidential and regional elections next October and November respectively, hate speech will be on the increase, especially during campaign periods. Due to its recurrence, it is today one of the greatest global challenges of the time. Hate speech is more than a gangrene, more than cancer, more than HIV. Really, the consequences are unprecedented and very devastating. We are here to fight against it and promote cohesion, consultation, and harmonious living together. This fight has been an engagement by the Ministry of Posts and Telecommunications through its national campaign for the promotion of cyber security and responsible use of social media since 2020.
And when you discover that one of the things that can destroy that living together is hate speech, we cannot stay quiet.
Today, a national fight, a contribution of all very welcome to bar the way to hate speech.
People must be aware of the consequences of sharing those hate speech. That's why you want to fight it with arrest.
The vision of the Association for the Rehabilitation of Youths, Women and Refugees coming in with a new grassroots initiative. The kickoff is on the 13th of September at Sibati.
Et puis la campagne se poursuivra dans le nord-ouest, le sud-ouest et dans tout le Cameroun.
Their particularity is the use of messages produced in local languages. You won't easily get a Wondo Bulu, but for example, we'll go to the south and take a language that not everyone knows, but which is a language spoken in Cameroon. These languages need to be spoken and the words need to be said. No to hate speech in all the languages we speak in Cameroon. Hate speech is more than just an offensive language. It is a dangerous tool that can destabilize communities, fuel violence and weaken social bond. Promoting tolerance, dialogue, and responsible communication is therefore essential to promote peace and social cohesion.
Beatrice Ngamo reporting there and drawing the cuttings for this edition of the 6:15 with me, Kejang Henry Atimbi. Thanking you for being there with us. Matthew Fangwa is coming up with the debrief, the actuality. From all of us is goodbye.